We begin with some breaking news, and a Russian military transport plane has crashed in the Belgorod region in the south of the country, close to the border with Ukraine. A video which was posted on social media appears to show the moment of the incident. Russian media quotes the Ministry of Defense, saying that more than 70 people were on board, including 65 Ukrainian prisoners of war. And there is that video. Again, the video coming in on Telegram. We obviously cannot independently verify it, but we are showing it to you here on DW News, and we will have the very latest on this incident as it becomes available. Let's get more from DW correspondent Nick Connolly, who is live for us in Kiev. So what is the latest, Nick?
So as you mentioned there, the Russian side claiming that these were Ukrainian prisoners of war on board this plane who were going to be exchanged for Russian prisoners held by Ukraine. That's something that sources here in Kiev have denied, or at least not commented on, instead suggesting that there were missiles on board this military transport plane, missiles of the S-300 type that are routinely used by Russia to attack Kharkiv, Ukraine's second biggest city, which is very close to where this plane came down. The crash site seems to have been about 50 kilometers direct airline from the Ukrainian border, and we've had sources in Russia, people in parliament even claiming that these were Western weapons, either Iris-T or Patriot missile systems used to knock down that plane. If that were to be true, that would be an interesting development, because obviously so far Western countries, when handing over weapons to Ukraine, have always made the proviso that they can only be used on Ukrainian territory, not on Russia, against Russia on Russian territory. But again, this is a very early phase of this kind of news cycle. Lots of very contradictory sources coming out right now. So basically, all we know at the moment that it seems like this plane has come down, and it happened pretty close to towns. So there's a lot of imagery, a lot of pictures out on social media.
Yeah, and of course, you know, so many questions being raised, and a lot of speculation, as you've highlighted there. If it is indeed the case that a Ukrainian strike on this plane is what it brought it down over Russian territory, can you just give us a sense of how that might change the game in this war?
I think it's really important to focus here at the situation in the air, but also at sea. In the past few months, we haven't seen much in the way of movement on land. The Ukrainian counteroffensive didn't bring the results that were hoped for here in Kiev. Similarly, Russia's attacks in the east have barely made progress. But we really have seen, though, Ukraine being able to push Russia's ships away from Odessa and the Black Sea coast. We've seen much less in the way of activity from missile ships out in the Black Sea that were attacking cities like Odessa and the rest of the country, because of those Ukrainian sea drones and other kind of unmanned tech used to attack Crimea and Russia's infrastructure there. And if it is possible now that after knocking out that Russian radar plane that we had a couple of weeks ago, that they're now attacking these kinds of transport planes, that makes Russia's military logistics a lot harder and could actually have an impact, make it easier for Ukraine to defend its cities from these missile attacks that we've been seeing in the recent months, and that have been pretty intense, especially since the beginning of this year.
Nick Connolly in Kyiv, thank you.